7 years ago, the world's richest countries pledged to find $100 billion a year by 2020 to help poor countries adapt to climate change and also lower their own greenhouse gas emissions. Now opinions are divided on how close we are to that goal, with many rich countries being accused of inflating their figures and cheating poor countries out of billions of dollars of aid. Last week, the charity Oxfam produced a report looking into this. One of those who contributed to it was Armelle le Comte.
Developed countries tend to overestimate or mislabel what they call climate finance, and actually they count, for instance, loans at their face value, so it makes figures bigger, and they also count like project not like very specifically. So for instance, you build a school with solar panel in Africa, and then developed country, they count the whole project as climate finance instead of counting only the solar panel aspect of it. And actually that's what the COP22 is so important, to actually recognize that we are far from addressing the need for more adaptation finance.
As I understand, this money was promised to the poorest countries in the world to help them make this transition. And what you're saying is they're not being delivered what they're being promised.
It's true, and the reason is that the majority of climate finance is actually going to mitigation efforts, so to reduce emission of greenhouse gases. And actually there is a huge gap for adaptation finance. So currently only 16% of climate finance is going to adaptation. That means helping the poorest in the world to adapt to the impact of climate change, whether it's drought, floods or disasters.
So then why is it that this balance doesn't exist?
Developed countries say that it's easier to fund projects to reduce emissions, so to develop renewable energy projects, for instance, or improve energy efficiency. And actually adaptation projects are really, they need to be at the community level, and so it's a different way of doing climate finance. And what we know is that the poorest in the world, who are the least responsible for climate change, are actually the first victim, and they're not getting the money that they should receive.